Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty. You suck.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Patrick Kay
and Adam Scott. Hello.
You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. Have you guys seen the trailer for Assassin's Creed?
I have, yes.
Yes.
What did you think?
I'm probably going to watch it. I'm not going to hold out too much hope on it being amazing, though. The thing I love about the Assassin's Creed games is kind of the mythology of it. It's particularly the kind of Ezio era. But
yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be translate into the film. It was one of those things where where the game had certain. It could take certain leaps that films couldn't. You could, yeah, literally, yeah. But you know,
what I
mean?
Did there.
You can cram so much lore and detail into a 20-hour computer game that you can't with a 2-hour film. And I don't know if they'll have that kind of cool uniqueness. Because to be fair, the games don't even have that cool uniqueness anymore. That lore has very much been diluted, in my opinion. Since the second and third one. So I don't know if I don't think if it's going to be great, to be honest. It might just be a disposable action film.
Well, it would be the first from a game franchise, would it? Let's face it. Although, you know, it's got, I mean, even the presence of Michael Fassbender and
Marion Cotillard.
Thank you. Who I have huge amounts of time for. They're only going to be as good as the script they've got.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, it's quite difficult to get something that maybe in a 20-30 hour game condense it down to, 2 hours. Although I did see him leaping from the top of a very tall building.
Money shots.
But I did not see if there was a big pile of hay.
Undoubtedly, there must be. No, couple of things I've got to say about this. Just mechanical things that give me a little bit of confidence. Ubisoft have set themselves up as a studio in the same way that Marvel have. So basically no one can fuck with their shit. It's their law. And
okay, because they never do a bad job of fucking with their own shit.
No, but I'm just saying, Marvel did some awful shit, like sell Spider-Man to Sony and stuff. They did some awful shit before they got their shit together.
They were going broke. They had to do something.
Well, this is it. But I think the idea is that Ubisoft kind of have ultimate power over their IP.
Okay.
I think this film is designed to fit alongside this fiction rather than override it. I'm not too sure about the screenwriting credits. That's not, I'm a little bit nervous about that. The guys who did this did Exodus Gods and Kings and Tower Heist, neither of which I've seen.
Oh, I've seen Exodus Gods and Kings.
Yeah, I couldn't be asked that. Yeah. Okay, so but the director is Justin Kurzel, who did a very cool film called Snowtown, and then worked with Michael Fassbender on Macbeth, the more recent version of Macbeth, which I heard was good. I've not seen it yet, but it was one of the better films of last year, according to many people. Or at least it looked great. It was technically very good. So
I just paused that bit in the end of the trailer, and there is a haystack in it.
Oh, is there?
I can see it.
Oh, I didn't
Awesome.
Almost out of shot.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the final film to come out and find that it's running at a much lower FPS rate.
Cinematic.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, well, the console peasants will be used to that, I suppose.
That's right. But I bet the trailer looks amazing.
Yeah. But what did you think of what they've done with the Animus? Because they have diverged a bit there. It looks more like a thing that that had a hold of him than he
It
was
actually
sort
looks
of
more
inside.
like a thing that actually is being made. Someone's actually made a VR controller that's sort of similar to that crazy arm that's in it. There's a thing where you can harness in and it will let you jump and it'll actually lift you up in games and stuff. So someone's actually making
God.
that.
Wow.
Which I don't know, like, I think it would have been a bit boring if they'd just done the bed, which is what the original Animus was, wasn't it? It's just like a thing you just lay on and you just went into the Animus. So I think
How sci-fi.
from a
Did it have silver sheets.
Yeah.
I think from a cinematic point of view, they had to do something a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it would be kind of interesting from my point of view to see how they imagine like VR technology in the future is going to be, because essentially that's what it is.
It's going to be the plug in the back of the head, isn't it? That's what everyone else says.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Matrix styling.
yeah.
Oh well, so yeah, that's out on the Assassin's Creed's out on the 21st of December, which puts it almost head to head with Star Wars. So that'll be interesting to see if it just gets
Okay.
buried.
I'm sure it's going to do big business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So also happening at that time of the year-ish is, of course, the latest entries in Call of Duty and Battlefield. They've both split off in completely different directions. Call of Duty's going into the future and into space, and Battlefield 1 is going to be World War 1.
Both decisions make both games much more interesting to me than they otherwise would have been.
I agree.
If I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt I'm going to play any of them before they're on a Steam sale. Battlefield 1 I might do because I actually get on a lot better with the Battlefield games. But I know that there's Verdun, which is a multiplayer World War 1 shooter. But I'm kind of keen to see what they do with this. It's interesting that the Call of Duty trailer is like the most disliked on YouTube ever.
Yeah.
And Battlefield 1 is like one of the most liked ones.
I believe there may have been a
fucking very
fanboy
interesting.
campaign involved there.
I think you might be right. I
like the
But,
idea of like
yeah.
proper like World War 1 biplane sort of Red
Yeah,
Baron,
it's really
Night in the
interesting.
Sky sort of shit.
Absolutely.
I can't come on. If I'm not going to get Crimson Skies, that's the next best thing I'm going to get.
I've definitely said this to you guys before. Like, if there's one war that would get me playing a war game, this is the one. This is the one I want to get involved with. Definitely.
But I just think, people think there was someone was saying, "Oh, but World War 1 was so boring. It was so static." It's like, go and read a book. World War 1 was brutal, and but it might have been a long time waiting. But when people went over the top, that is some proper visceral. Even so, I still think that people are kind of like a bit, not really sure we should be making a game about it. Because it was, unlike
It's one of the
World War
darkest
II, where there's a
things in
very
our
clean,
history, isn't it?
it pretty was dark, and all over. But it was a proper World War. I mean, I think it's 100 years ago. I think we can probably move on from the friendly. And I think everyone that fought in it is now dead. I think.
Well, I think it's sort of got like some people are like being really precious about it, but they've made loads of World War II games, so. I mean,
yeah, but the thing about World War II is it's kind of a bit of it's a proper good versus evil. It's seen, isn't it, historically as the battle of the good Allied forces against the evil Nazis.
Right.
So it's kind of a lot easier to make that distinction of putting it into the good guys versus the bad guys.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's very easy to demonize Nazis. Like it's no problem whatsoever. The only problem
And
you
lots
have
of people-
is selling that game in Germany. Like that's
Yeah.
the only commercial problem you have.
Yeah. Whereas World War 1 was a lot of stuck up royalty and upper class idiots directing their soldiers against another country's soldiers commanded by another bunch of stuck-up royalty and idiots. And it's much more difficult to make that as out. But the thing is, it is what it is, and it's a battle game. And I think if it's handled properly, I think it would be, it's certainly better than just putting out a bloody cops and robbers skin for the latest iteration of Battlefield 4, which is what they did before. I mean, at least they're actually trying to do something new. So yeah, I'm up for that. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, definitely not.
and they can't really go in the same direction of Call of Duty because they've got Titanfall 2 coming out at the same
They
time.
have indeed. So that'll be their double whammy. Although I'm not massively interested in Titanfall 2 if I'm interested.
Yeah, the sequel they're saying is going to have a single player campaign, which a lot of people felt was missing from the first one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, all the Battlefield games have got single player campaigns, and I don't know anyone that's ever played it. I'm sure some people do, but those Battlefield games are about the multiplayer, and the Titanfall probably will be as well. I don't know. Maybe if they, like I say that, if they can make a cool single player campaign which lets me pull down a Titan and stomp around, then I might be the selling point I went into. But I must admit, I kind of had a brief splurge with Titanfall when it first came out, enjoyed it a lot for about a week, and then went, that's it, I've done everything I want to do in this game, I'm not really interested in it
it was
anymore.
kind of like that bit in a game that you play, but normally you only play it for like that level. But it was they tried to make that into like a massive multiplayer shooter thing, but
Bought the Atlas.
it didn't hold my interest very long either.
No.
And Civ 6 has been announced. I don't know if I'm done with Civ 5, to be honest. I don't feel like I've played that enough.
How many ways can they? I know there's so many games you can say this about, and
I know.
I've never really spent a lot of time in Civilization, but I'm wondering how they managed to refresh the game.
The thing that they're doing now is that before you'd create a settlement, and it would just grow, and it would just be a settlement of indeterminate sort of structure. And now what they're doing, I believe, is that they're going to let you segment those structures, those settlements, and give that significance. So to me, it sounds like another complication. I mean, I've not followed this series the whole time. I got Civ Rev for Xbox 360, which was excellent because it was totally.
Yeah, I played it on my phone, loved it.
Yeah, it's
Loved
just
that game.
it takes the essence of that concept and basically boils it down into something that's easy to get your head around that you can do in a few hours. Whereas the proper Civilization is ever so more complicated and more options and things like that. And it's still really beautiful game, looks lovely, and it's one of those, just one more turn, and you end up spending hours with it. But I'm on the fence. If it gets good reviews, I'll give it a look. But it comes out the same day as Battlefield, so I'm not going to be able to get both, let alone either. Maybe because there's so much out that time of year, like Dishonored and Mafia and stuff. So this has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Ian, remember him, talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching Podcast one day, and Adam Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet out or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
See ya. Bye.